Good evening, friends. Hope you all are doing good. So, friends, today we are going to see the last chapter of 8th standard NCRT. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the ninth standard NCRT. So, be ready. I hope you guys are with me. You are reading all the chapters, you are watching my lectures, you are taking down the notes in my lecture, you are solving questions and answers, MCQs, as well as written questions both. So, friends, today we are going to see this next chapter called as a human resources. So, when we are saying human resources, lots of human beings come in front of our eyes. So, human resources are very critical. So, let us say uh, people who don't have any educational qualification, people who are very, very unhealthy, people who who are not properly civilized, can we call them as a human resource? No, they are not human resource. They are the burden on the society. So human resource is nothing but a very skilled manpower, a very healthy manpower. So have how many of you have seen this movie Wanted? Okay, in this fellow Prakash Raj. Okay, I know South Indian all you are aware of this actor Prakash Raj. So when Salman Khan is killing all his gundas, so he comes under very pressure. He says that you are killing very valuable human resource of mine. Okay, it is very difficult to get such skilled people in my profession. Getting it? So if you see this movie, it's very hilarious. So this tells that human resource is one of not very equally distributed thing. That means you won't get very skilled manpower, you won't get very educated manpower, you don't get very well informed manpower everywhere. So you have to search it, getting it. So people with good health, people with good education, we call them as they are the resources for the society. They will make further new resources, getting it. Like people, if for example in India, people are highly educated in information and technology. So India has become a information technology hub, getting it. Japan people are highly skilled in the manufacturing. China people are very skilled in the manufacturing. So they have a good human resource base in terms of manufacturing, getting it. So this human resource is not equally distributed all over the world. Some countries have very good human resource like China, yes, like Japan, United States. Very high quality human resource you'll find in the Europe and United States. And if you see countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, can we call them as a human resource? No. So they are burden on the society because most of them join the terror forces after they get after they are grown up, getting it. So human resource is not equally distributed. This is unequally distributed all over the world. Because why it is not equally distributed? Because every country does not provide sufficient infrastructure for the education, for health. Now, if you see, currently coronavirus pandemic is going on, and there are huge number of deaths in China, in Iran, in Pakistan, in India. So here, if we see the people over here, we don't have good health infrastructure. Okay, entire GDP of India is some $3.5 trillion or $3 trillion. America's only spending on the health infrastructure is almost $12 trillion. Getting it? So four times more than the India GDP they are just spending on the health. So in this way, different in the level of education, difference in the level of age, and difference in the sex ratio makes human resource unequally distributed all over the places. So for example, in India, let us say Haryana. Haryana has a more population of men compared to female. Getting it? If you see Kerala, Kerala have enough or almost equal population of male and female, getting it. So in this way a sex ratio also plays very important role in the human resources. Okay, also if you see this number of people, it goes on increasing and decreasing. For example, Japan had a very good sex ratio some 40-50 years back. Now aged people are increasing in the Japan, young people are getting reduced. Same thing is happening in the China because of their one child policy. So numbers of the human resource gets increases and decreases along with the time. So that is why human resource is a very critical terminology. all the people cannot come under the human resources. Those educated, healthy, and they have some ability to create something constructive and productive for the society, they only come under the terminology called as a human resource. Getting it? Now, when we are talking about the human resource, let us understand their distribution and certain facts. So this is very important from pre point of view. Okay. So from pre point of view, this is very, very important. Now, if you understand how people are spread all over the world, we had already seen that 90% of the people are staying only on the 30% of the surface of the earth. So 30% of the people, 30% of the surface of the earth is concentrating 90% of the people, and rest 10% of the people are sparsely located over the remaining 70% of the surface of the earth. So very unequally distributed. Getting it? So as we know that cities are flooding more and more with the people. So everyone wants to come to Hyderabad, everyone wants to come to Bengaluru, everyone wants to go to Mumbai, everyone wants to go to Delhi. So more and more people are moving towards city compared to villages. So that is why these type of unequal distribution of the population on the surface of the land is happening. Now, if you see world division of population, so in North America, in the Southeast Asia, Europe, and eastern part of the North America, if you see the eastern part of the North America is more populated compared to central and western part of the North America. Southeast Asia is more populated compared to rest of the part of the world. So if you see this, almost people are more concentrated in the 10 countries. 10 countries in the world have almost 60 to 70% of the population of the world. Plus, on the high altitude, okay, then extreme condition like pole region, North Pole, South Pole, forest region, central equatorial forest region, then hot desert region of Sahara, hot desert region of India. So here, less number of people living. Okay, if you see the Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, the population density is very less. So in high altitude area, less number of people are living over there. Okay, if you see more number of people are living on the north of the equator. Okay, if you see equator is going like this, so more number of people are living here in this region north of the equator compared to south of the equator, because south of the equator, first of all, availability of land is very less, and opportunities are less available in the south of the equator compared to north of the equator. So all types of opportunities, economic opportunities, education opportunities, they are very less available in the south of the equator. Now, this, as I have told you, 10 countries, okay, 10 countries in the world are just gathering more than like 60 to 70% of the population of the world. So in this way, we have 196 countries. Out of them, only 10 countries have 60% of the population, and rest 180 countries, they have 20 to 30% of the population. So world average population density is India's average population density according to 2011 um, this population registry is 382 persons per square kilometer. Bihar and West Bengal have the highest density of population. Getting it? Okay. So Bihar and West Bengal has highest density of population. Now, when we are seeing population density and distribution of population, we are talking about different number of people are living in a different areas, more number of people living in certain areas. So what are the factors which are responsible for the distribution of population? So as I have told you, climate plays a very important role. Terrain plays a very important role. Availability of water, availability of economic opportunity, availability of educational opportunity, availability of social opportunities. These are the very important factors which play the distribution of population. So in this, we can divide these opportunities into two types: geographical opportunities or factors, socio-cultural economic factors. In writing answer in mains, you should write using these points. So which are the factors which are affecting the distribution of population? So first is topography. Topography means what? Terrain of the earth, surface of the earth. So somewhere you have mountains, somewhere you have a plains, somewhere you have a forest. So according to the land use and according to the topography or terrain, people will choose whether to live in that area or not. As we have discussed, on high mountains people will not live, but in the plains of Ganga, so many people will live. Then climate. Harsh climate, people will not live. Favorable climate, everyone will go there. So, desert region, nobody will go and live. Okay, forest, nobody will go and live. Uh, Extreme cold, nobody will go and live. But in temperate region, tropical region, people will come and live there. So, climate is the second factor. Then soil. So, soil should be fertile because agriculture requires fertile soil. So extreme high regions like pole region where extreme cold is there, their agriculture will not sustain. So people will not live there. Or where agriculture soil is not fertile, like desert region, people will not live in such conditions. Then availability of water as well as availability of mineral and other geographical factors. Then, though all these factors are available, but you don't have good society over there, like you are living in a country like Pakistan, which is sitting on the shale gas deposits, they have huge mineral deposits, climate is very good, world's one of the like fertile area called as a Punjab. Okay, Pakistan has a huge land of Punjab and very fertile land. Balochistan have all the mineral resources. Sindhu River is flowing over there. But social, cultural, and economic opportunity is not there. So, will you go to the Pakistan and Afghanistan? No. Will you go to the Iran? No. So, socio, cultural, and economic factors play very important role. Even inside the India, inside the Telangana, if you see, village people are coming into the cities. Why? Because socio, cultural, economic opportunities are not there. The rest of the opportunities are there, but social, cultural, and economic opportunities are not there. That's why they play very very important role in deciding the distribution of population. Now when I am saying distribution of population, let us understand how world population changed over a period. Okay, this is very very important, it can be asked in the prelims. So when I am talking about world population, you can see this graph over here. Till 1800 population was very very stable, it was growing very slowly, that's why it was very stable. So why it was growing slowly? Because huge number of babies used to be born and huge number of babies used to die. So because of that, the resultant population was very less. So growth was very very slow over there. Getting it? So up till 1800 we can say there were 1 billion people all over the earth. 100 crore people were there all over the earth. Then from 1800 to 1959, okay, up till here, okay, 1960s, population suddenly exploded. So as you know, because of the industrial revolution and discovery of penicillin and so many life changing discoveries happened. So in this period population exploded. So just you can say in 1800 years you had only 1 billion population. After that it grew thrice and it became 3 billion. So 1804 to let us say 1959. So in this 150 years, population became 3 billion or thrice. Getting it? Further, facilities increased from 1960s. More life-saving medicines became available. More economic opportunities became available. More industries came. People became more secure and secure. So from there, okay. So from there to 1990s or let us say 2000, population became 6 billion people. Getting it? So up till here, okay. So just in a 40 years population became thrice again. So from 1800 to 1960s population became thrice in 150 year. Then tripling of population happened in just 40 years. Getting it? And then from 2000 to 2020, okay. So 2000 to 2020 or let us say 2012, population become in 12 years it became 7 billion. So in just 10 years, 1 billion population increased, and it is said that by 2048 or 2050, population will become 9 billion people. India's population will become 175 crores or like that. Getting it? So in this way, this world population increased. So when I'm saying that this world population is increasing, why this population is increasing? So this is because of birth and death. It's called as a birth rate and death rate. So what is this birth and death? So here birth rate increased, okay, but death rate did not increase. Death rate decreased. So birth rate increased, death rate decreased. Okay, so that is why population exploded. Third reason, okay, so third reason for the change of the population is migration. So there are three reasons for the change of the population. First is a birth rate, okay, second is a death rate, and third is a migration. Okay, so the difference between birth rate and death rate is called as growth rate or natural growth rate. The reason behind increase in the world population is natural growth rate. Getting it? Huge amount of people born, but less amount of people died. So it was a natural growth rate which caused the bulge in the world population. Now, migration is the third parameter which is responsible for the change in the population. So, what is a migration? Migration is nothing but a people are going from one area to the another area of opportunity where they feel they have more opportunities. We are calling them as a migrants. Okay, so migrants also change the dynamics of the population of the particular area from the region where they are. So let us understand this diagram. So, so from the region from where they are going away, okay, they are called as, it is called as immigration in that region, and into the region in which they are going, it is called as immigration in that region. So this fellow is immigrant in this region and emigrant in this region. So I is a immigrant and E is a immigrant. So both you should remember. So immigration means what? So I for immigration means what? Incoming migration. So incoming migration or immigration. So people are coming over there. So these people are known as immigrant. And emigration means what? Exiting migration. So emigration. So person is leaving the country. So they are known as emigrant. Okay. So United States of America is a very good example of immigration. So the population of America, before that only red Indians used to live over there. Okay, so a huge war happened and huge genocide happened of the red Indians, and white people from Britain and other parts of the Europe came and settled over there. Now people from Africa, people from India, people from China, all over the world people are going to the United States, and immigration has caused the huge mixed population in the United States. And Sudan is an example where population is decreasing day by day because, as I told you, the civil war was going on over there. So socio-economic, cultural opportunities were very less. So because of the emigration, the population of the Sudan was decreasing. So I hope you have understood this immigration and emigration business. This will be asked in your exam. So let us understand now how this population is represented in the statistic wise, where we can understand it easily just by looking into the graph or looking into the particular statistical diagram. So population composition is expressed in the form of population pyramid. So population pyramid is shown. So it is a way of representing the population in the bar format. You call it as a population pyramid. So these are the horizontal bars in which you express age, you express sex, you express death rate, you express birth rate, you express the number of people which are dependent upon the working people. Okay, you can express number of aged people, you can express number of children. So all these things are being expressed in a small diagram. So this pyramid is showing this all these things. It is also called as a age sex pyramid because this age and sex, these are the parameters which are represented in this pyramid. So in this diagram, let us understand this age sex pyramid. So you can see over here, the age is given over here and sex is given over here, men, women. Okay. So age, as you are going away, it is increasing. Same thing over here, right hand side increasing. Okay, so you can see over there here some 0 to 1 to 4, 5 to 9 to like that 80 to 85. So these people are being represented using the horizontal bars. So in this country, you have more population of children over here, and population of elderly people is less. That means birth rate is very high over here, and death rate is very low over here. Okay, so this country, sorry, birth rate is very high and death rate is also very high. Okay, birth rate and death rate both are very high. So because of that this country is full of youth. Okay, because this region you can see population of youth is very high. So this is called youthful population. After that, what happens? After that, these people get educated. They get lots of facilities. They get health benefits. So because of that, what happens? Death rate decreases. So when death rate decreases, what happens is people understand, oh, if I give birth to the 5, 10 children, it will be very difficult for me. Okay, so the next generation understands from their forefathers that now you cannot bear this much children. So they start bearing less and less number of children. Plus they want to enjoy their own life. So what happens? They give less birth to the children. So here you can see the number of children are less. Number of children are less, and number of youth is more. And the because of the medical facilities, elderly people are also surviving. So now this country is aging. Getting it? Now what happens? Now here economic indicators are very highly developed. Now they want to enjoy their life. They don't want extra pressure of the children and all. So they stop producing many children. Many people even stop marrying. Getting it? So what happens? Again, the number of children will shrink over here, and youthful population will also shrink, and aged population will increase. Getting it? So this is aged population. So this country will move. So Japan is an example of this. Japan has a huge problem. Most of the European countries have a huge problem of aged population. Getting it? So in this way, population pyramid is representing everything: birth rate, death rate, number of dependent people. Dependent people means who are the dependent people? Elderly, aged people are dependent people, and children are dependent. On whom? Youth, they are dependent. Getting it? So everything you are coming to know over here. So elderly people, youthful people, children, then birth rate, death rate, and overall growth, whether it is a youthful country or aging country, or just it has started aging. Everything you will come to know from this type of pyramid called as a age sex pyramid. I hope you have understood this. Okay, so as I have told you, this is being again repeated in this slide, that what this age sex pyramid talks about. Okay, so people, number of people living in the particular country, yes. Number of children below 15 years, yes. Number of aged people, yes. Number of deaths, yes. How many dependent are there? Yes, it is talking about that. And it is talking about all the dependent people below 15 years and above 65 years. Getting it? So in the prelim, this question may come. Okay. So age sex pyramid represent which of the following, or which of the conclusions you can made from the age sex pyramid, and these options will be given in the following options. Getting it? So in this way, these type of pyramids have been given. So I hope guys you have understood this thing, and this is very small and simple chapter. From tomorrow onwards we are going to start the 9th standard NCRT. So here since we are talking about human resource, so we have Ministry of Human Resource Development, which was established in 1985. Also, as I told you, that human resource, those people are only called as a resources which have a sufficient skills, which have a education, which who are healthy. So different schemes have been started for that. So one of the important scheme is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. In 2016 they have started. So this scheme was to improve the employability skills of the youth. That means you teach them something Either you teach them plumbing, either you teach them some IT skills, you teach them some carpentry, you teach them something or manufacturing work. So their employability skill will be increased. So in this way, we are helping to develop human resource in the India, and still we have a huge challenge in front of us. So as a challenge, we need to read economic surveys. Economic survey will talk about the challenge in the human resource development. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood this. Let us see the MCQ based on this chapter. Okay, so first MCQ is which does the term population distribution refers to? How population in specific area changes over the time, that is population change. The number of people who die in relation to number of people who are born, no, that is also not. The way in which people are spread across the area, yes, this is a C. Which are three main factors that cause population change? Birth rate, marriage, no. Birth rate, migration, yes, they caused population change. World population reached 1999, how much? 3 billion. Okay. What is a population pyramid? A graphical presentation of age, sex, composition of population. Yes. When a population density of an area is that uh, high that people live in the tall buildings. No. Pattern of population distribution is large urban area. No. So option is. So I hope you guys have understood this chapter. Please go through this again and again. Very important chapter from pre point of view. And from tomorrow onwards, we are going to see 9 standard NCRTs. Okay. Thank you. See you tomorrow.